Hello, and welcome to a social media live at the WHO. My name is Walter Owens. I'm a communication officer at the WHO. And today we have a special event on sport and health. And I am joined by one special guest, a star of football, a star of Chelsea Football Club, two-time African Player of the Year, winner of the Premier League and the Champions League, having scored in the final. I do remember that goal like it was yesterday. Didier Drogba is with us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And along Didier we have Fiona Bull, who's the head of physical activity at the WHO. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So Didier, you are here at the WHO because you have been assigned as the WHO ambassador for physical activity and health. Would you like to tell me what was your motivation doing this?
Well, it's pretty simple. I'm a sportsman, and I've been practicing for, for 43 years now, practicing sport and at high level, and then now a bit less. But I know how important it is to be physically in shape. How is it, to get to the top performance. But in my everyday living, after my career, I really noticed that it was important to be physically good, especially in the COVID time, where you could see the example I was used is the football players. They started playing, even during COVID, with no fans in the stadiums. But you could see that some of them were positive. And after 2 to 3 weeks, they would come back and play because they're in good shape and they're practicing every day. So I thought that this was a message that I should be sending as an example for the youth. One of many examples for the youth. So that's why I really embraced this opportunity, and I'm really honored to be a WHO Goodwill Ambassador.
That's great, and we're very honored that you are our ambassador.
Thank you.
And when you look at your track record, both in health promotion, but also peace promotion in your country and in Africa and across the world, and you're really somebody that people look up to. What is your goal as the ambassador for the WHO? What would you like to do, and what would you like to have achieved?
My goal is pretty simple. I've been lucky to be on the big stage for so long, and I need to use it to promote health, sport, and I think this is something normal that we should all do. There's no specific reasons why I'm in this position, but I want to use my fame, if I can say that, to send a wider message.
Yeah, thank you.
Very simple.
And I'm sure you will succeed with that message.
Thank you.
And you touched upon it at the beginning when you said that sport is important for health. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on that, or maybe also have a personal story how sport has helped you, both maybe for your physical health but also for your mental health?
Yeah, I've experienced it in many ways. Being sick and not being able to practice. Your human system is low, so you don't feel comfortable. And when I start practicing again, when you recover, you accelerate the recovery. Obviously, with the doctor's opinion, you accelerate the recovery and you feel better. And I've never felt stronger in my game than when I was healthy. I was eating good food. I had a kind of good diet, no specific diet, but I was just picking up the right thing that my body needed. And it's something that should be natural for all of us. We always tend to think that athletes are the only ones who have to pay attention to their health,
Yeah.
which is not true.
Fiona, would you like to maybe add something about what the WHO is doing to promote sport and health and what our recommendations are?
Certainly. I mean, as Didier's just outlined, physical activity and sport is really good for your health. I mean, your hearts, your bodies and your mind is what we say at WHO. We look at the scientific evidence that supports this, and we know from lots of research that being active can prevent some of the leading causes of disease. So they are heart disease, diabetes, cancers, hypertension, all of those diseases which account for quite a large amount of poor health, and they occur later in life, which is why we encourage people to be active all through life, particularly as young people and then as you age. And you just said it doesn't matter what you're doing, it can be any type of physical activity. So our job at WHO is to make sure people know the benefits of physical activity, regular participation, and then find what they enjoy. And so we're promoting with governments and ambassadors and the civil community, civil society, to say sport, physical activities for everyone.
Of any age?
All ages, and if I may say, all abilities. Because we're really hoping that with Didier's help, we would be able to encourage people who are not active to get active. And there's people who've been put off earlier on and they've dropped out. And so we're looking for your inspiration to get more girls and older adults to come back out and pick up the football again, even when they're older. And there's lots of ways to do that.
And not only the age and the ability, but also where you live often impacts if you can have a sporty lifestyle. So for example, you were born in Africa and then you moved to France and then you played in the UK and you played in China and you played in a lot of different countries, yes. So how do you think that the environment that you live in impacts your ability to actually exercise regularly?
I think it does impact, especially in terms of food, if I can say. For example, in Africa the food is so good, but it's rich as well. So I've been living there for the past 2 years, and I can see the impact on me. So I have to practice a bit more sport, you know, to keep myself healthy. But I think it's a mindset. You know, just to feel good. When you want to feel good, you have to practice. When you want to be good physically and mentally, like you just said, you have to practice. Just by practicing, I know that when I'm on a football pitch, I forget about every problem that I have. You know, and I only think about enjoying, which is good for my mental health, performing, which is good for my body. So all these things are I mean, they go together, and no, there's no specific place for me to practice sport, and especially when it's football. But it's not only football, you know. I do a lot of activities, play tennis, basketball, a lot of different sports, just because it feels good to move.
Yeah. I think the big agenda, though, is to look at making sure everyone's got the opportunity to those football pitches or to the local parks. So one of the areas that WHO is really working on is looking at making sure everyone has got access. And it's disappointing to see that sometimes the sports facilities are in certain parts of the community, and we're looking to see that we can make sure everyone's got a local park, can get them equipment, can have an opportunity. And cities are particularly good, their leadership, to show that we can provide for everyone equally. And that also has got an affordability issue, because sometimes sport gets a bit expensive, and we want to actually reduce that barrier so everyone can have a go.
Everyone,
yeah.
Didier, so you mentioned that you probably have put on a little bit of weight, a tiny bit. But how are you keeping in shape now? Because you're probably not training as much as you used to when you were an active footballer. What are you doing now? Are you doing different things? Or?
I do something that I've never done. You know, I'm going to the gym.
Wow.
You know, which is different. I didn't need, because I was practicing every day, and you know, when you stop playing, you have this little time where you know, your body doesn't really want to get active. Mm-hmm. So during that time, I put on a lot of weight. Yeah. But as soon as I started, it was very difficult for me to to make the first step, to engage again with some activity. And as soon as I started, I felt good, so I was thinking, oh, I need to carry on, and it helped me losing weight. It helped me being better mentally, and especially to endure this difficult moment that we've all been through with the COVID.
And when you have these moments where you don't really feel like getting off the couch and doing something, how do you motivate yourself to still be sporty and go out? And
well, the good thing is that a lot of people really want to move, and well, when you've been a professional athlete for so long and you see someone who's not professional, having a good time while doing some sport, it motivates you as well, and also it's good to stay in the sofa, but it's better to be. I mean, mentally, I feel much better. I really emphasize on the mental aspect of sport.
And was there ever a moment where you had a low mentally and sport helped you to reach something or go through something?
Yeah. I mean, we are all humans, People sometimes they think that sportsmen they don't have problems, they only perform well, and this. No, we have lows and highs, and I had some, but again, for me, the only place at the time where I could forget every problems was on the football field, and even doing some runs or so. It's just to bring out all the bad energy. I like to say that, getting rid of the bad energies and bringing good ones.
And Fiona, just to get back to what you said earlier, with people being able to actually practice sport in a safe and healthy environment, what can cities do and what can maybe countries do to promote that aspect?
Well, WHO produced a global action plan, which is sort of a roadmap of the best policies, the best actions to help people be more active. And cities play a major role because they provide most of the amenities, whether it's in the school playgrounds or the parks. And one of the really obvious but often overlooked is the streets, because we walk and cycle in the streets. And so we're very interested, and there's lots of synergies here with the Sustainable Development Goals. Getting more people walking and cycling, particularly for short trips, will mean we're not using the cars so much, which means it's safer for walking and cycling, and we're not polluting the air. So we've got a real nice cycle of really positive benefits. And cities and local governments are really the change agents, because they provide, the community needs to support them, and that's a tension between cars, parking, speed limits. But I think through COVID we've all seen how much walking and cycling we've done, and we've seen how pop-up cycle lanes can happen, and so we're looking to support cities make more of those changes, and help more people be active through regular daily ways, and to get to the sports facilities, because you've got to get there safely and hopefully in a sustainable way. One of the big concerns I mentioned earlier was girls and women, because less girls and less women will stay active. Up until about 10, it's quite similar. And then in the adolescent years, girls seem to drop out. So it's great to see more girls coming back to football and getting the opportunity, but we need to work more and help more girls to stay in there. And that's why it's great to have role models and provide more opportunities for girls.
And talking about role model, you are obviously a role model for many people, especially young people picking up football and hopefully starting their career or aiming to have a career in football. What would be a tip for a girl or a boy who would like to become a professional or play at the higher level when they're starting off now?
Well, I believe it is important to have the dream. It's a dream, and football is a passion. So you're driven by passion, but there's a moment where you have to realize when it's for you or when it's not. You cannot always be stubborn and then think that you're going to be the next Messi, the next Ronaldo. There's only one Messi, only one Ronaldo, and only few of them make it to the top, which is the elite. But then some of them struggle. So it's very important, I believe, to study. Education is very important because it can help you to bounce back from from a wrong decision, or from, you can be unlucky and not become a professional football player, but you need to be able to work, you know, beside that, and that's what I always say to young guys. You have a dream, yes. We'll always push you to get to make it a reality, but don't forget to study. Don't forget to study. It's very simple, but right now everybody wants to be a football player. Even sometimes kids where you see they don't really have the potential, but they want to make it. It's good in a way because they get really in touch with moving, being active, but sometimes it can be difficult mentally when you don't make it. So to reduce this aspect, I think it's very important to be educated.
Yeah. Very good point.
Yeah.
So do the sports, but also do the education.
Yeah.
And I have a question, because you just mentioned Messi and Ronaldo, and everybody knows them. But I realized also that they are playing at a very high level, and they are already a bit older than players maybe 20 years ago. Do you think it has to do with a new concept in sport, with physical activity and nutrition and healthy lifestyles?
Yeah, it has to do with this. You know, I managed to play, even myself, I played until 40 years old. It's just because I had a good routine. Training, I was coming early, leaving the dressing room very late, doing some work with the physios, doing some extra work, then going home, having an osteopath working on me, and that's how you last. You know, and I'm really proud of my career. You know, I've been able to play and perform until 40 years old. So when I see these players now with the evolution of medicine and the work and the data work, you know, around football, I think it's pretty normal what they are doing now. You know, and I believe they can play until 40, 45 years old. Yeah.
So a healthy lifestyle really
yeah,
is
healthy
important also
lifestyle.
for,
Yeah, you can see Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He finishes training at home. He's got a pool. He's got all the equipments, and I mean it's very similar to what we've been saying all this time during this interview. You know, a healthy lifestyle make you last longer.
Great. So I'm aware of the time, so I think if you have final words from your end, maybe Fiona, if you want to start.
Well, I think you made some really good points about everyone having the opportunity and carrying on till older age. You know, as we age, it's even more important because you actually maintain your physical muscles and bones, which can prevent the sort of trips and falls, which become really important later in life. So keeping engaged over the lifetime. I think a really important point, you said you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And one of the things I think is shifting is we don't really tell people to be active because of health. It's be active because you enjoy it and you'll get the health benefits. And I think there's a call really for a lot of sports programs, school programs, community programs to make sure it's enjoyable. Because the reason people drop out is because there's other more enjoyable things. And so we've got to make sure it's enjoyable and engage people in design, which is great why, you know, urban sports has become really popular, skateboarding, surfing, all the sports that you can do in different ways at different times in your own way. And that's what we're encouraging. Your own way, stay active, lifelong.
Great. And Didier, as a WHO Goodwill Ambassador for Sport and Health, do you have a final message for our audience or some tips how to stay healthy? We'd love to hear.
I think it's pretty simple. You have to enjoy, like you said, enjoy being healthy, appreciate being healthy, and for that you need to practice. Simple.
So thank you everyone for watching. My name is Walter Owens, Communication Officer at the WHO. This was our special about sport and health with our new WHO Goodwill Ambassador Didier Drogba. Until next time, stay healthy and thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.